I'm Jackie. I'm a librarian with Live Life Aberdeenshire Libraries. As a librarian, I love books, but I actually also love craft. And here's something I'm feeling rather proud of that I made earlier. It's a Dreamcatcher. Can you guess which children's book I got my craft idea from? I'll give you a few clues. Clue number one of the main characters is a giant. Clue number 2, he lives with other giants in a land far away and he eats things like snozzcumbers. Clue number 3, he becomes friends with a small girl called Sophie, who he happens to bump into in the dead of night. Or in this book, it's referred to as the witching hour. Yes, that's right. Well done. It's the BFG by Roald Dahl, my favourite Roald Dahl book, closely followed by the fantastic Mr. Fox. So how did I make my Dreamcatcher? Well, I used a few bits and pieces I found around the house. You'll need a disc, but remember to ask a grown-up for a disc that is no longer used. You'll need scissors, beads, wool, glitter and glue, a small paintbrush and a felt marker pen. If you don't have glitter and glue, don't worry, because you can still make a Dreamcatcher. You can decorate it with stickers and other coloured pens. So let's get started. First, take your disc and then cut 6 pieces of wool, around 30 centimetres long, or roughly the length of a ruler. Pick up your disc and thread the wool through the centre. And we're going to tie it twice, quite tightly. Once and twice. So it looks like this. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the tails off as close to the knot as possible to make it all nice and tidy. Oops. That's once and twice, till it looks like that. Now you need to repeat that 5 more times with the remaining pieces of wool until your disc looks like this. Next, we're going to start weaving so we can create this decoration that I have here in my Dreamcatcher. You will need around, say, 2 meters of a length of wool. You might need a grown-up to help you measure that. So once you've got your wool cut, so I'm ready to go with mine, you actually take your wool, take your disc, and you thread the wool once again through the centre. You'll be getting really good at threading wool at this stage, and turn it round. And we're going to tie the piece of wool onto one of the strands here. So I pick up the strand, put the wool through, and then pick up the loop here, you see there, and thread it through there and pull it tight. And that means it's now secured to the back of there. And I'm going to start turning it round and I'm going to start weaving. So with my length of wool, I pick up a strand and I put it underneath and I start weaving. Pull it through and pull it down. And we do that twice. Pick up the wool underneath and pull it through. Make sure we pull it down. And we continue doing that all the way around. And all the strands, all the way around, until it looks like this. So here's one I did earlier that I'm working round, all the way around, building it up all the way as you go. Now you can make this as thick as you want. I've just done a few lines of it round the disc, but you can make it as wide as you want. So that's me finished weaving all the way around. This is as wide as I want to weave, and I need to loosen. So if you actually pick up to start to loosen it, and we've got our tail, and we're going to put our tail underneath because we are going to be threading back through the centre. So pull it through just to hide it and pop it through the centre of the disc and pull it through again. And we turn it upside down and we tie it to the back of one of the pieces of wool. Pull it round like that and under again. Oops, under again. And tie it off. It's a bit tricky, you might need somebody to help you do that. Pop it underneath and tie it tight. Yay, like that. And then I cut the end, the tail off with the scissors again, as close to the knot to make it as neat as possible. Next we're going to carry on decorating the Dreamcatcher. We're going to tie on these tails here that we've put beads onto. We're going to put on here. So you need 3 strands. You need 2 about 20 centimetres long and you need 1 about 30 centimetres long, because you can see I've got a longer tail in the middle and 2 shorter ones at either side. So take your longer piece and tie it on to one of the strands, like that, as close to the bottom as possible. And take your scissors again and cut the tail off as close to the knot. You're going to repeat that with the 2 shorter tails, one to the left and one to the right. So put one here, tie it on nice and tight and cut the tail off. And one here. There we are, it's all coming together now. Nice and tight, and cut the tail off. And your Dreamcatcher will now look like this, ready for the next stage. Next we're going to decorate the tails with beads. So I've got some coloured beads here. I'm going to add them on, which again you need to get really good at your threading. A really good tip is if you've got an adult with you and you have got some nail varnish, you could actually paint the tails and let them dry, and that means they won't fray, because I was finding they were fraying when I was trying to put the beads through. But we'll see how we go. So I'm going to thread that through there, maybe about 4 or 5 different colours. But if you've got feathers, you could maybe tie on some feathers if you've got some things like that, or other bits and pieces that you think would decorate the tails really nicely. Have a look to see what things you have at home. Even buttons, you might have some old buttons that you could decorate the tails with. That's me put on 5 beads. So I'm going to tie a wee knot at the end of here so the beads obviously don't fall off, like that. Maybe try 2 knots just to make it nice and secure. There we are. And take my scissors and cut as close to the bottom of the tail as there, and there we have the beads on the Dreamcatcher. So you'd repeat that with the other 2 shorter strands until it starts to look like this one we have here. Now I'm going to attach the handle. So I've cut a piece of wool about 30 centimetres long. And if you look at the longest strand here, directly opposite is where you're going to put the handle. So I'm going to fit it on here. So again, you just thread it through and we're going to tie it here. But we're not going to tie it too tight. We're just going to tie it one like that and then tie it again and like this. And that's when you're going to pull tight. And then take your scissors, once again, cutting off the ears that we don't need there. And put that aside. And here we have the handle to our Dreamcatcher. Now I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to draw a pattern onto the disc. just to decorate a wee bit more. So I've got a permanent marker pen here, but again, if you're using marker pens and things, make sure you've got an adult with you. So I'm going to draw some hearts, I think, on it here, because I love my Dreamcatcher, but you can draw any shape you would like. So I'm going to put maybe 2 hearts in each section, there, like that, all the way around. Now it's coming along quite nicely, isn't it? It's looking good. Slightly different decoration on this one is what I did on this one. And this is how you can actually use your pens to create different patterns, or like I said, if you don't have pens, this would look lovely decorated with stickers. Remember, at the other side of my Dreamcatcher, I had some glitter. So I thought what we could do is put some glitter on the other side of this one. So to decorate it with glitter, you need glue, small brush, and I use a bit of paper or card to put some glue onto. So I take my lid off, get my glue, squirt a tiny amount onto the card or piece of paper. Got my glitter here as well. I'll take the lid off so I'm all ready. And I put some glue on the back of the disc. So go all the way around. And I'm just going to drop a wee bit of glitter over the glue. Now you can put as much glue or as little glue that you want. And it will start to make it look really sparkly and special. So here's our finished Dreamcatcher. Glitter on one side, and if we turn it round, our weave and pattern on the other side. I think it's looking lovely. All ready for bedtime tonight. I hope you've enjoyed your craft session with us today and you managed to catch yourself a golden fizzword of a dream tonight. We are looking for stories about children's hopes and dreams for the future, so we can showcase a selection of these in a digital book. If you would like to share your story with us about your hopes and dreams for the future, email it to us at the address provided below. Until next time, bye!